Hi, my name is Kaylee Chosen, and I'm a hip hop artist. I like to call myself the friendly neighborhood rapper, as I am very passionate about community and also a big comic book fan. Within my passion for community, I like to use my words and my art to talk about social issues and encourage conversation. My involvement in violence prevention or gender equity started, I think, around 2016, around the time that the Me Too movement was starting to gain quite a bit of traction, especially because more people were speaking out against Harvey Weinstein. Looking at the news that was coming out, it made me think more about my own actions and how I acted in relationships. Not to say that I was violent or involved in any kind of abuse, but I think it was more about thinking about the pyramid of violence and how it starts off with, small gestures like jokes or, not standing up for those around you, and how I was contributing to conversations or actions that I was seeing men around me do. So through talking to my moms, through talking to my sisters and friends, I have a lot of female identifying women in my life. And a lot of them shared just the experiences that they had had. I think growing up as a male, I'd never noticed the difference in things like traveling at night, where sometimes I used to take it for granted that I can walk and do whatever and not have a fear of being followed. So the more I spoke to them, the more I decided to think about and reflect on, how could I help and, just make the world a better place? So this led me to trying to educate myself, and I did this through volunteering. I started off with a club on campus called CASE, which is the Consent and Sexual Education Club. Essentially, we talk about sex positivity as well as, issues that revolve around assault, such as disclosure, how to support people, and, the different resources that are available on campus. This led to me meeting Carla Birch, who was the support advocate for violence on campus. And she was really instrumental in just guiding my path. She introduced me to a lot of different workshops, including the Man Enough program led by CASA. So that's the Calgary Communities Against Sexual Abuse. This was an amazing program that went over 8 weeks, where we would meet once a week and go over different resources and just challenge what it meant to be masculine. I think this was very important in my journey because, it's one thing to learn about the resources you can help others with, but it's another thing to just kind of reflect on your own understanding of masculinity and how you can contribute to the betterment of the world. So I definitely recommend that workshop. Through this and other resources, a lot of podcasts were recommended to me, a lot of different mediums of art led to me kind of including this messaging in my own art. Two prominent songs that come to mind are Her Anthem, which was me partnering with three amazing female artists, just talk about their experience in hip hop. I felt that this was important because, again, as a man in hip hop, my experience is very different. I'd never experienced the sexualization, the high expectation, and sometimes just the looking down on women's lyrics just because they're female identifying. And having them speak on the track, really helped bring a lot of conversations forward. And it's just amazing. I think the music video came out really, really well. So I was really proud of that project, and it really helped spur communication and conversations around my community, at least. Another song is The African Fathers, which is an open letter to African fathers. I think within all this reflecting, it came to mind that parenting plays a big role in the way that men behave.
Hello, sir, with no disrespect. Just met your son, he's a bit of a dick. Can't cry and he's proud of it. Can't express emotion, cause you taught him how to bottle it. He hates conflict, so then break up twice. One side chick and two wives, three different set of kids, and you wonder why. Marriage was never something that he wanted in his life.
Quite often, African fathers can have sometimes an emotionless approach to raising their children. They teach them to be strong and firm, which is important because, you want confidence in your children. But, sometimes the lack of emotion can make them act out in relationships or not understand how to communicate their feelings. So in the song, I just talk about that, how can we balance this out? Still be a strong father figure, but allow your children to show emotion so that emotion can spread in their relationships. I think in my journey, I've learned a lot just about conversations, because I think that's the most important thing about supporting gender violence or gender equity is just how do we have these conversations with each other? You know, how do we make sure that men and other identifying people just talk about what's going on? Because I think that's the most awkward part, is that, you know, something's happened and you don't know how to you don't know how to respond to a disclosure. You don't know how to support someone. You know, sometimes it's just all you need to do is be an active listener, you know, and just listen to what they're saying. But because these topics are unfamiliar, it's very hard for people to do. So with this in mind, my advice to men on this journey is find a mentor. Like I mentioned, having Carla in my life really helped me ask questions and get the resources that I needed to learn more. And I think that's another important point as well, just asking questions. There's nothing wrong with asking someone to expand on something you don't understand. The more you learn, the more you help. So yeah, just being able to educate yourself and ask questions is the best thing you can do. Because to be honest, just the fact that you're trying to make the world better makes a huge difference.
Don't choose over musikana kana the opposite makangufanana tese hatinga yite my lawyer my doctor never no actor never no temper so